And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Jonesin' with Jeff Drake.
Hey kids, calm down. It's the Jonesin' with Jeff Drake show. I'm your host, Jeff Drake. Got a great episode lined up for you today, tonight, this morning, this afternoon, depending where you are in the world. My dear friend for a long time, Pleasant Gaiman, and me and Pleasant have known each other for, I don't know, close to 50 years, I think, something like that, 45 years, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, a long time. Anyway, we don't remember how we met, but we kind of remember around the time. We were on a record together called Someone Got Their Head Kicked In, or no, I'm sorry, Hell Comes to Your House, Part 2. And we think it might have been at the record release party for that. Her band, the Screaming Sirens, was on it. The Joneses were on it. And it's a great record. It's expensive now if you try to find it, but I've got one. I had to buy it. Anyway. So, like I said, me and Pleasant have known each other for a long time. You might already know all about Pleasant, but I'm going to tell you, she's an author, respected author. She's several times over, lots of books. She's a singer and a dancer. She's a burlesque dancer and like a belly dancer that gives lessons all over the world. She's a tarot card reader and actress and like my last guest, Iris, she does origami and erotic massage, and she's just a lot of fun to be around. Um, when we first met, we were pretty inseparable for about 6 months, just running around causing mayhem. We'll talk about that. Pleasant would invite me to parties, and we would wake up someplace about 3 days later, not knowing where we were or what happened. But it was always a good time. I'll tell my story about waking up with my head in a box at Disgrace Lounge, Pleasant's home that she lived in with other notorious people in the LA area, and it's great to have her on the show. So, welcome to the show, Pleasant.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, everybody out there in podcast land. What Jeff just said isn't even scratching the surface of how
Yeah, right,
psychotic we were.
right.
We should have just called this episode, How Are We Still Alive?
That's a good one. That's good. And I'm not used to hearing Pleasant call me Jeff. I'll tell the story. I just told her Plonk, but I'll tell. I can hear Plonk now. He's. I'm gonna have to turn him off anyway. So Pleasant was in a band called. If correct me if I leave anything out, Pleasant. Because I forgot about the Swedish thing earlier. Anyway,
Okay.
so Pleasant was in a band called the Screaming Sirens, and one of the things that they did was they sort of started talking baby talk, and then they started that evolved into like talking sort of a pseudo Swedish to each other. And they knew my name was Jeff, but they didn't know my last name. They just knew I was in the Joneses, so I was Jeff Jones, and that evolved into Jeff Jones when the Swedish thing started, and then that became YY. And so Pleasant for about the last 45 years has called me YY, and now everybody knows why. Okay,
Everyone knows why.
why, why. Thank
You
you,
know, it
Pleasant,
doesn't make
and
any sense. It's one of those
yeah, wow,
nicknames that just sticks for no reason.
we understand it. And like I said, that's your special name for me. And if anybody else ever called me that, I'd look at them like, did Pleasant tell you that? You know who else did that? Jenny Shore did that. So why are you why? And so I had to tell her that. Anyway, so welcome, Pleasant. It's so great to have you. We've been trying to do this for a while now, and you're finally here. It's great.
I know it's exciting to be here.
I've been
So,
looking forward to it.
me too. Jeff
And
and I have known each other for so long. We've got so many stories of craziness in the 80s. I don't think they're all going to make it onto this podcast, but
we'll try to squeeze them in. We got a special litter box story too that we want everybody to
oh
hear.
yeah. Jeff just found this one out last night. I think
This, yeah, that was new to me.
should we start off with that one?
I'm still buzzing with the litter box story. Let's start out with that. Well, first let's talk about how we met. Like we met, I think we met at that party at the Hell Comes to Your House Part 2, and we just bonded. I had heard horrible things about you leading up to that, so I was kind of afraid to meet you. But then once I did, I was like, you're nothing like what I've heard. You're a great gal, and I love you so much. Anyway, so Pleasant, I had a car, and so Pleasant would call me up. Hey, why? let's go to a party. You want to go? I'm like, of course, party, me,
Or,
yes, let's go.
or wait, sometimes
Oh,
I would just bump into to YY on the street, this went on for ages too, because we walked around a lot. He had a
yeah,
car. A lot of people we knew didn't have cars, but also Hollywood was so. It was. I'm going to say this in big, huge air quotes. It was a vibrant community of
it's a
crazy
little
ass
village,
young punk
little
rock
village.
people. So, like we were all walking around Hollywood Boulevard, walking around all parts of Hollywood, going out to clubs every night in a way that like no one nowadays does because
Thank,
everything was so different
thank you,
back then.
Rusty.
But so, me and YY would bump into each other, and I'd always say something like, "Want to go to a party?" And he always said yes, but then it would, every time practically, it would wind up being like at least a 3 day binge of just total craziness. And sometimes it would last longer. Like sometimes, hey, why do you want to go to a party? Like you'd wake up in Tijuana wondering whose car you were in, you know?
Or even better, one time I woke up. Pleasant lived in this sort of notorious duplex thing, big old house called Disgrace Land, sort of a play
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Disgrace.
it was
Can't
a
wait to say
punk
that.
house,
Anyway, yeah,
famous
one
punk house.
time after Pleasant asked me to go to a party, I woke up about 3 days later on the floor in Disgraceland. My head was in a box and my pants were down around my knees. I don't know what happened that led to that situation that I was in, but I never will forget that. It was a nice box. It was like a wooden box. I think they kept albums in there, and I'm not sure who pulled my pants down once I passed out or what they did to me, but I'm pretty
Or
sure I'm
maybe you were
still
putting on a show for us.
maybe.
Maybe you pulled them down yourself.
Could very well be. In the state that I was in after about 3 days, anything is possible. So,
I know someone, um, Matt from the DIs. There used to be a band called the DIs. One time he said to me, um, usually when I wake up somewhere from a party, I have no idea where I am, but at Disgraceland, I always know where I am. The question is, how long have I been there? Because Disgraceland was like a vortex of insanity, like just like
right,
what
right.
you just said. Like you don't know how you woke up in a box with your pants down, or you wake up on a Wednesday and you realize you'd been there since like Saturday or something.
Yeah,
Or
and I never.
I'd always wake up with someone in my bed, and a lot of the time it was someone I didn't know, but I didn't, like then you didn't know if you had sex with some. This was the '80s, you guys. This is what you
Right,
missed out on.
before AIDS killed everybody. But,
Before AIDS, before fentanyl, before a lot of things that stopped this
right,
kind of
right.
behavior.
So
Um,
sometimes if I had nothing to do, I'd just stop by Disgraceland because I knew there'd be somebody there, or something happening, or somebody would know about a party or whatever. One time, me and Reese Williams, the Joneses guitar player at the time, stopped by Disgraceland, and we used to just walk in the door. We didn't knock it. So one day we walked in, and there was Mike Mart from Techno Heads. He was getting fellatio from this woman on the couch, and we walk in the door, and he's like, "Don't you guys ever fucking knock?" It's like, as a matter of fact, we don't, and he knew that. So Pleasant told me a story last night, um, and we're both cat lovers, and Pleasant's kind of a crazy cat lady, and she's about to explain just exactly how crazy of a cat lady she is. Why don't you tell the story about the litter box, Pleasant?
yeah, I
Really
put the
quick.
crazy and the crazy cat lady. So when when we were all partying all the time in the '80s, as has been established, but then when people started doing heroin, it washed over LA, and a lot of people, almost everyone, started doing it. And I never wanted to shoot up or even try it because
Me neither.
my older brother had whoops. Whoa, I just knocked my earphones out. Sorry. My older brother passed away from an OD, and I didn't want to have anything to do with heroin. But everyone else on this night was doing it, and I had to go to the bathroom, and they were all in there. And I was banging on the door, going, "You guys, I have to pee. Can you just, like, you're all doing it? Just come into the living room. Why can't you just come out
They're,
there? It's not
they're
like you're going to be
bashful.
discovered."
They're bashful. They like
But
their privacy. They don't want
Yeah.
you to know where they're shooting up. I mean, there's other places in the body besides your arms where people
I
are doing
guess I didn't give a fuck though. I just wanted to pee. So anyhow, I was banging on the door, and then finally I was like, I'm not going to be able to hold this. So I was like, where am I going to go? Outside? And I didn't want to because Disgraceland was in Central Hollywood. But then I realized I was in the kitchen and there was the cat's litter box there. So I just peed in the litter box. And Jeff with his kinky ass like that. No, I'm just,
And
it
of
just
course,
made
with
sense.
litter being absorbent, it was a brilliant idea. And like you said, being a woman, you could just sort of squat over the top of the litter box. Did you bury it afterward? Did you
No,
let the
I
cat?
didn't go that far. No, I swished it around so it wouldn't offend the cats, but
The cat's
I
like,
wasn't
who's
gonna
been
devote
using my
more
litter
time to
box?
it. That yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, like the three bears.
yeah.
Who's been
Pleasant, did you
peeing
get
in my
another
litter
cat?
box?
That doesn't smell like any other cat I've ever known. Yeah, so that's the litter box story. Um,
But
and
the
we
not
also
litter
went to
box story is sometimes I'd wake up at Disgraceland and look at someone in bed with me, and I'd be like, I've never seen this person before. Well, I guess I probably saw them last night,
in the
maybe.
litter box.
um, but then, like, this happened a lot at Disgraceland. Like, you never knew who you were going to wake up with. Sometimes I'd wake up and there was like a cute person on each side, and I'd be like the first one awake, and I'd be like, are they like a couple, or like, did this happen at different times? What
It's a
happened?
pleasant
And then
sandwich.
one time I woke up with Mike Mart from Tex and the Horseheads, who was my roommate, but he had his own place to sleep in Disgraceland. But I woke up and I looked at him and I had like a little double take, and then like he opened his eyes and I was like, Mike, did we have sex last night? And he looked at me and said, that's funny. I was just going to ask you the same question.
There's ways to tell. I don't want to go into it, but there's ways to tell.
Well, people nowadays probably don't need to hear those because I don't think that this kind of shit happens that much anymore.
Things have changed. I think people are a little
Yeah.
bit more discriminating. Most people, anyway. So
Well, yeah, you
one of the
have to be.
yeah, it's jungle out there. So one of the crazy parties we went to, and I talk about this all the time because it blew my mind. We took some kind of hallucinogenics. I think it was probably mushrooms, and it was Halloween. And we went to a Halloween party at Lux and Ivy's house from the
Yeah.
Cramps. The Cramps are kind of scary, so that when Pleasant told me about it, I was like, yes, I have to go to this party because and it was more amazing than I even imagined. Like when we got, it was, what's the name of that building, Pleasant, where the party was? Do you remember?
Which was it? What I
Hollywood
can't remember
Towers.
if it. Yeah, the Hollywood. Wait, what the hell was it called? Also,
Trianon, the Hollywood Towers.
it was something the castle. Like, yeah, I just saw
Okay.
it today too. I walked
Yeah,
by
this
it. I
crazy
can't.
old
It was
apartment
one.
building in
It was.
Hollywood.
I think it was called the Synanon or something like
Trianon.
that. It was Trianon. That's
Yes,
what it was.
that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Trianon.
Oh yeah, that's the drug
The
place thing.
drug
Yeah, it
thing
was
where
the
they
Trianon.
poison people. Yeah. So anyway,
And
so we get to the
Belinda
we
lived there. A lot of people lived there. Like punk rock people lived there when they
so
graduated from the Canterbury.
yeah, so we're on mushrooms. It's Halloween. We're going to a Halloween party at Lux and Ivy's house, and we knock on the door, and this beautiful naked woman answers the door. I'm like, wow, this is getting better all the time, right? So we go in, and then the entertainment comes in, and they've got this dancer, and what do you think? Maybe 400 pounds, Pleasant,
Yeah, at least.
500
Yeah,
pounds, really big
yeah.
woman, and she's naked and she's dancing, and we're laughing, because we're on mushrooms, and it's all so funny. And I say to Pleasant, that's not much different from what me and you do, when we get up on stage. But anyway, so so that was a great party at Lux and Ivy's house at the Trianon for Halloween on mushrooms. Something I'll never forget. I know people are jealous just listening to us talk about it because not everybody gets to do that.
Oh my God, yeah. Lex and Ivy were like my crazy parents. Me and Kid Congo's crazy parents, starting from when we went to New York in the late '70s. And they would tell me crazy things too. Like I remember one time I was on some other kind of hallucinogenic with Lex and Ivy at the Tropicana, and we were watching something about about UFOs on the regular TV at like 1 or 2 in the morning. And then Lux turns to me and he's like, "You're never going to see a UFO." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You're never going to see one." And I was like, "Why not?" And he's like, "Because you want to. The only people that get to see them are people like this asshole farmer out in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas. He didn't want to see a fucking UFO."
Right. We'll never get abducted. No.
And then I started crying again for real.
And so in the early, maybe I'd say more like mid '80s, Pleasant had a band called the Screaming Sirens, and I used to get them on the bill with the Joneses every chance I could because I absolutely loved that band. They were so much fun. Um, you guys even did a song about the Joneses, which I feel honored. Why don't you tell some Screaming Siren stories?
Yeah. Oh my God, the sirens were so fucking insane. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a drink. In the
You're
olden
really
days,
good.
this would have been straight vodka.
Rosie Flores on guitar, who's just amazing, and
Yes, Boom
Pleasant
Boom
was a
Dixon
singer,
on drums. Yeah,
kind of
I was
and Boom Boom on drums, and sort of a rotating cast of bass players.
yeah, of bass players and Marsky on rhythm guitar. We had there was a lot of women that were in and out of it, and sometimes at different times would leave and then come back. Like like Miko. She left to join the American Girls, and then she couldn't stand it because it was sort of a put together band and nowhere near as fun and crazy as we were. But the Sirens were lucky. We toured all over America nonstop, and we had the craziest things happen to us. Um, the things that when we were on the road, there was only two things that we listened to, and we would just listen to them on repeat, like it was insane. One of them was Johnny Cash live at Folsom Prison,
That's a good
and
one.
the
My
other
parents had
and
that
the
one.
yes, but then the other one was only over and over, like the Lonely Goat Herd song from The Sound of Music. And one time we were driving through the Rockies, and our roadie and driver Johnny Lee. We were in the middle of driving, and it was like woo woo, all these insane turns and like just like drops over the precipice, and it was and like the goat herd song started playing, and he was driving with one hand, and with the other hand he just grabbed the whole cassette out of out of the player and just threw it out the window without even looking. It just went over the precipice.
He was
But then
totally
as soon
hooked.
as yes, but as soon as we got back into a town, we went to a thrift store, and so they had a few of them for sale. So we bought like 2 or 3 of them just so we had like one in an
Cassette tape.
extra. Yes, because we couldn't live without it. But we had so many crazy things happen to us on the road, like um, we'd be like trying to get in and out of Canada was insane because we'd have like people with us that like the and by people I mean like boyfriends and or roadies with us, and then they'd be like checking the guys for like criminal records nonstop. And I'm surprised they didn't do us, but we usually had really good, really great tours, and we'd we'd be in a place like anywhere across America, and then we never knew where we were staying. Sometimes we'd stay in the band, but we almost never got a hotel room unless all of us were really dead tired or something. So what we'd do at the end of shows was we'd stand out near the merch and we'd start auctioning off who wants to sleep with us. Like not necessarily like sleep with us, but just whose house are we going to sleep at? And someone would be like, I've got my house is air conditioned, and someone else would say, I'm at my mom's house and it's air conditioned and there's an Olympic pool. And then someone else, well, we're air conditioned and we have an Olympic pool, and we've also got cable television, which was just starting then. And so then we'd be we'd be figuring out like who we were going to stay with, and the stakes just kept getting higher and higher. But then there was other times when people wanted to party, to party us down, as we would say, just jokingly, because that's what some people said. But we started off saying it as a joke, and then it really became a thing with us, because we could just that party me down, dude, like we would say in that kind of an accent, but we really meant it.
Because you guys love to party.
Yes, but so one time this guy came up to us, and he could tell we loved to party. This was like in a parking lot in Arizona, and he came up and he's like, "Hey, so I found a credit card the other day, and I bought a stereo with it, and I bought," so he named off some other things that he got. He's like, "Do you guys want to use it, or do you want me to get you something on it?" And then like our bassist Laura she was an accountant, so I said, "Give me a minute." So we all went into the van to have a powwow. Like, should we use this? Are we going to be liable for the law? And then Laura said, if he found it, like, we can just say, like, he coerced us. But also, if anything happened, nobody would owe anything more than, like, I think it was like $15 or something. Like, yeah, she knew all about that kind of stuff. Anyhow, so we said yes. And the guy, we were staying at this place in Arizona called the Contiki, and this was like the Chelsea Hotel in New York or the Tropicana Hotel in Hollywood. It was the place where in Arizona all the bands would stay as they were passing through. So they were used to like craziness at the pool at all hours or people being awake. There was never any complaints, and it was actually a really nice hotel. I mean, not nice like that you would bring your kids to or go for a
Not a
honeymoon, but it
five-star
was
hotel.
no, not even.
But
But it
they
was
did
great.
change the bedding every day, right? At least they did
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, no, it was great. But so anyway, we went there, and the guy that had the hot credit card, and I still have the receipt of it somewhere because the receipt was insane. And he'd spent like over $200, which in those days was like an insane amount of money. And so he had it all put in our rooms for after our show. And we didn't know at first when we checked in that the band Gene Loves Jezebel from England was staying there. And they were staying at the rooms right adjacent to ours. And then we started going, who were all those cute, limey boys? Because they were all really cute. And we were just like, And we would always, in the Sirens, we'd always be like, I have dibs on him, or I'm taking that one. You know what I mean? We were worse than like Motley Crue or anything. I'm telling you, we were horrified. Well, you know that from the debauchery stuff, but we were like that with all the sex stuff too. We were really bad. But so when we found out it was Gene Loves Jezebel, then they were snooping around us, like, because both of our gigs, they were playing at a different club. They both ended at around the same time, and they started showing up, and then they saw all this stuff that the guy with the hot credit card had left for us, and he had like fifths of Jack Daniels, a fifth of tequila, a fifth of vodka, a fifth of bourbon, and then there was like shots all laid out, like a million shots, and then there was like pitchers full of like margarita mix with I mean, it was insane the amount of liquor that was there. And Gene Love Jezebel guys walked by and they were like, "Who's your record company? Ours never do anything near that." And I said, "Oh, it's not from a record company. It's from a hot credit card." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, like a stolen credit card. And they were just like, they looked at us like American women are crazy. So that was a highlight.
The Screaming
But
Sirens also made a movie, right? Called The Running Kind.
yes, and that was based on one of our songs of
Yeah, I
the
think I
same
was
name.
I was in it, but I think I didn't see the movie, but I think my part got on the cutting room floor. We filmed it at the Zero, the part that I was in. You guys, it was like a
I
fight
think no, I
scene or
think you
something.
were in it. You were in it for a minute, I think, from the Zero,
Okay.
because then it segued into "I Just Can't Keep Up with the Joneses," which was the
Ah,
song that I wrote about the Joneses. But then you're in it in pieces all over the place. But then there was also flashes of other stuff. It was like a big montage going on in there. So
I'm
the
gonna have to
the
watch it
running
then.
kind, the running kind was made by Max Tash, and he wanted to do a movie about an all-girl band, and so he had picked out the Go-Go's, the Bangles, and the Screaming Sirens, and the only ones that would talk to him was the Screaming Sirens, because I was like, yeah, I want to be in a fucking movie about my
Yeah.
band, you know? And um, so then he was asking me questions about, at first he started talking to me, trying to get like the dialect of the Hollywood punk scene and stuff, and then like I'd start writing him things or telling him examples, and then finally he said, why don't you just be the co-writer? And so we wrote it, and we cast it, and it was cast with all people, real people from the only person that wasn't like a real punk, LA punk person was like the lady who played the mom of the main character, and the main character, the guy who played Joey. He wasn't, but everybody else was in it. And the all the actors, the other actors, like the ones that were hired to be to be punk rock extras and stuff, they all wound up getting totally converted to punk rock and going to Disgrace and having parties. And it was filmed. It was filmed all over Hollywood. Some of it was on top of the building at Wilcox in Hollywood, which it was the Playmates of Hollywood building, where Iris Berry, my roommate, and I both worked there. It was. It's really it's like a microcosm of the LA rock scene or punk scene in the
Yeah, I
in
remember
the
filming
in
that
the
with
80s.
everybody in the shot.
Yeah, yeah. If you saw it now, it would be insane. We look like fetuses, Jeff.
Is it on YouTube? I got to see it. I've never seen it. I remember, like I said, I was in it, but I've
It
never
is
seen
on
it.
YouTube. It was on YouTube the last time I looked at it, which was only a couple of months ago. It must still be
Okay.
on there, and it was free to watch. It's great. It's crazy to watch it. So also anyone that's listening, you guys could watch it too, but
Yeah.
you might not know
Anybody
who
out there that
everybody was.
loves high quality, sophisticated entertainment, the running kind, featuring the Screaming Sirens on YouTube, you can't go wrong. So,
Yeah.
besides being the leader, front person of the Screaming Sirens, I was talking to Iris. She was on the last episode I did. Iris Berry, your good friend, my good friend. You guys were in a band called the Ringling Sisters, right?
Yes, that came because all of us were in bands. Where we were constantly like screaming and yelling over the band when we were singing. So we decided to do a band that was sort of quieter so that people could hear the lyrics that we wrote. And so we started incorporating spoken word into it. And I remember one idiot record company executive said, when we were playing a demo for him of the Ringling Sisters, it had a couple of our songs on it, like Kimberly Rose and one that Iris wrote called 56 Ways to Go Downtown. Those were like our two favorite songs, pretty much. Um, but he's like, look, what's all this talking at the end of it? You didn't even edit this. And we're like, that's the whole point. And the guy, just like most A&R idiots, could not get it. He just didn't get it. Like, why is there talking on this?
So
It's called spoken word.
you've always been a real creative person, Pleasant. Back in the late '70s, early punk days, you had a fanzine, right? That's now it's like a collector's item, I guess. And then,
Yes, that was called Lobotomy, the brainless
right,
magazine.
right. And so you've always been into writing and stuff like that. And since then, you've become I would say, successful author. You've got several books under your belt. Here's the latest one. I'm about to hold it up and show everybody. It's called Rock and Roll Witch, and that's Pleasant
Yes,
right there on the front.
that
And
just turned 4. It's turning 4 in a couple of days. So
4 years old.
I just yes, the Rock and Roll Witch came out 4 years ago in a couple of days. So I was just gonna put it on sale on Instagram, on my Instagram, if anyone wants to buy it.
That's right. It came
It's
out
so sick.
right about the same
It's
time
all
as my
punk.
book. We were doing book signings together. We did one at the Headline
Yeah,
Records and another one at Stories in Echo Park. And that was that weekend when, remember when it was snowing and stuff? And
yeah.
we thought we were going to be so late. We left, we said the day before, thinking, all right, well, by then, anyway, all the passes through the mountains were closed. And we just rolled up to the joint just in time to do it. But that was great. I love doing those book signings with you. It was so much fun.
Yeah, those were fun.
So, Rock and Roll Witch, and you're also a tarot card reader. You read the cards for people, and you do like what would you call it? Remote healing? Is that
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
do?
yeah. It's energy healing, and I can do
Okay.
that remotely. So if someone is having actual physical pain, I can take care of that, but only temporarily. It doesn't fix the problem, but I can stop the pain or alleviate it for a while. I've always been able to do that. I didn't even know what that was until I saw that movie, The Green Mile, which I know this sounds crazy, but do you remember that movie?
No.
Okay, so anyway, well, some people maybe will. This movie came out in the 80s. I was seeing it in a theater on Hollywood Boulevard with Jeffrey Pierce from the Gun Club and Tex from Tex and the Horseheads. Anyway, it was a prison movie, but the guy that was the main character was the person that did the healing that I did. And here's what happened. Like, he was put in jail because he was found in a river holding these two little dead girls. And they thought he had drowned them, but it turned out he was trying to save them. But so anyhow, um, when he was in jail, like, him and this other convict were completely obsessed with this little mouse, and they'd save like little pieces of their meager dinners to give to the mouse. And the guard was a sadist, and he knew they loved it, so he jumped on the mouse over and over to kill it, like, just
Ugh.
to, because it
It
would,
reminds me of the end
make
of
the,
Day of the Locust when Homer Simpson's jumping up and
yeah.
down on top of that girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so anyway, there's this like part in it where the guy was reaching and reaching out, and finally he gets the mouse, and he puts it up like this to his face, and then he blew in it, and the mouse went and just revived. And so everyone in the whole theater was crying except for me. And what I was saying was two things. And one was, oh my God, I've been able to do that since I was little. Oh my God, I know how to do that. I can do that. And then the next followed by, you can't tell anybody you can do this. They're going to think you're fucking nuts.
No, it's true. You've done that with me and my cats. I've called you and said, "Hey, Pleasant, my cat is whatever," and you say, "Hold the phone up to him," and it's a miracle. It's miraculous.
Well, I mean, I tell people I can do it now, but in those days, in the 80s, like, no one was believing shit like that.
That's before
But
they let
yeah,
you on
so
coast to coast.
yeah, I've been on Coast to Coast. I was
You told
healing
me.
people on there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I told you
Because
for
I've
years you'd be the perfect guest, and I couldn't believe when you told me that they weren't interested. And then I guess finally you wore them down, and it's too bad you weren't on there when Art Bell was. That's when that show was really really good. And I
well,
think
how
it's
I got
wonderful.
on there was wild. It was crazy because I've been trying to get on there for like 13 years or
Yeah,
something.
long time.
And then one night, like, I had just given up on it. And then one night I was listening, and there was a guest that they were usually always great, but this one was so boring, and I got really mad, which I don't get mad that often, but I got so mad. I was like, what the fuck? This guest is so boring. Like, why do you have him on there? Like, I would make the perfect guest. Why didn't you put me on the show? And then I stood up and I screamed, put me on the show. And all my cats were like, whoosh. And I was like, wow, are you okay, Pleasant? You know what I mean? But then I woke up the next morning, and there was an email from their producer, Lisa Lyon, the main producer, and it said, hi, I'm Lisa Lyon from Coast to Coast. This might sound really weird, but I saw a correspondence we had about 13 years ago, and I said that you'd make the perfect guest, but I don't think we ever had you on the show. If you're interested in being on, call me. And I looked at it, and I started shaking, and then so I was like, in my head, I can't tell her. I was so mad and cussing and stuff. But so I called her up, and then she's like, oh, thank you, blah 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 blah. I've wanted to have you. And then I said, I had an experience last night, and I started telling her, and she's like, what? Shut up, shut up. And I was like, no, really. This is why I couldn't believe you called me, but I still didn't want to say, put me on the fucking show. That was
So one night back in, I think it must have been the late 80s, me and my friend Larson Payne, who I think is resting in peace at this point, but me and my
Yeah.
friend Larson Payne went to this restaurant called the Moon of Tunis on Sunset Boulevard to eat some Tunisian food. And out comes my friend Pleasant belly dancing at our table, which I thought was great. I didn't know she was a belly dancer. I didn't know she was belly dancing at Moon of Tunis. We just went there to eat. And all of a sudden, Pleasant's belly dancing at my table, which is great. Pleasant's an accomplished belly dancer. You give lessons all over the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I used to like before the pandemic and stuff, I used to travel all over the world. It was incredible. And the really thing that was really incredible was I started a dance career and I didn't even start it. It just started falling into place. When I was 30, I had always wanted to be a dancer ever since I was little. And when I was little, my mom took me to a ballet studio and the lady looked at my feet and said, her feet are flat, she'll never be a dancer. And I sobbed myself to sleep that night. And then I never thought of being a dancer until I was a grown up and someone asked me if I was a belly dancer. Why? Because you move like one. And I said, oh. And then I said, are you a belly dancer? And she said, yes. So then I said, I want to see you. And then I started seeing a few people belly dancing. And then I just was belly dancing for fun when I went to see someone else dance at a club, and they wanted me to belly dance, and then it just kept rolling like that.
Right.
That was
Well,
insane.
we want you to belly dance. You're going to belly dance for us?
Oh yeah. Okay, I have to take my I think I have to take my ear things out.
Okay, just for a minute.
Yeah, because I don't want to ruin stuff.
Pleasant Gaming, ladies and
But
gentlemen.
here,
She's going
I'll
to
pull
belly
it
dance
up so
for
you guys can
Princess
see.
Farhana is her belly
Woohoo!
dancing name. Also do a little down 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 down. I don't know. Is that belly dancing music? I don't have an oboe or anything. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Pleasant.
I see you
Thank
can't
you so
see.
much. Oh, she's still going. There you go. You don't get this kind of entertainment anywhere, kids. This is something special here. You got Pleasant Gaming Princess Farhana, as she's known in the belly dancing world. Belly
One
dancing.
second.
And now she's putting in her headphones. Princess Farhana, ladies and gentlemen. The
And
Queen of Hollywood.
what Farhana is, Farhana means pleasant in Arabic, just letting you guys
Ah,
know that.
very clever. Very clever.
I didn't, other people started calling me that without even knowing that my name was Pleasant. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy?
That is
That
crazy.
was at Arab clubs in the 90s. They
Wow.
called me Farhana because whenever I was dancing, I was smiling, and Farhana means happy or pleasant girl.
And you were also, I don't know if you're still doing it, but you were doing some burlesque dancing with this outfit called Bell Book and Candle, which is great because I love that movie and I named my cat Pie Wacket because I love that movie so much.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I named my show that.
you want to talk about your Bell Book and Candle? You spelled it
Yes,
right.
that was supposed to be a one night show, and it wound up lasting for over 8 years. And
Is it still current? Are you still doing it or is it over?
no, we're not doing it like regularly, but I think we're gonna do a comeback every so often. We'll do a comeback because what it is, it's an all witchy, occulty burlesque show.
Right.
So I was
And
thinking
hence
of
the
doing
title,
one,
Bell Book and Candle.
yeah, around maybe summer solstice in LA. We'll do it, and if we're doing it, then we'll do it at El Cid, which was, that was its home for 8 years.
Yeah. Well, cool. Very cool. Um, so what else you got coming up? Pleasant, anything you want to promote? Anything you want to pimp on the show here?
Mm,
Got a new
trying to
book in
think
the
if I have
works?
some. I am working on a new book, but it's sort of top secret right now. But I'm
Okay.
working on one, and
Well, never mind
I
then.
do have the Rock and Roll Witch book for sale. If anyone hasn't
Let me hold it up again
gotten
for
it,
you.
I just put that on Instagram. Rock and Roll Witch is like really it's crazy. It's all punk rock and metaphysical, witchy, weird horror stuff. There's stories that have Lux and Ivy from the Cramps, Kid Congo's all over it. I mean, it's all punk rock and crazy witchy stories that
And the
happened
subtitle
really
is A
to me.
Memoir of Sex, Magic, Drugs, and Rock and Roll.
Yes,
Right? What a combo.
that's ex-
How can
that's
people not want
exactly
that
what it
book?
was. I know.
I bet.
And
It's a
I'll
great
kiss
book.
it and
Pleasant's a great
sign it
write.
for you.
Pleasant's a great write.
And I've had fun, crazy shit happen to me, luckily, my whole life.
Yeah, it's an amazing book. Anything else you want to
Thank
talk
you.
about? Any special pleasant things in the works that people should be looking for, or anything?
Um, I am gonna have like some new writing coming out, but that's probably gonna take a while because I just barely started on a new book, so that's why
Okay.
I'm keeping it secret. But that's coming, and then I will probably be doing some other shows around this summer. Also, if anyone watches my Instagram. I am going to have a crazy ass big yard sale in probably under a month, like mid May, the like late beginning of May, because and the the yard sales we have here are always like parties, and there's always like fun people and cocktails and mocktails and whatever you want. So that'll be coming out pretty soon.
Okay, and you're still doing your tarot readings, so if anybody needs to have their future told, right, they can hit you up, and I'm sure you're reasonable,
Yeah,
right? You're very
or
reasonable.
if they just want if they want to find out something about or like a little bit of illumination on a situation with someone like that they're dating or that's what tarot is always good for helping you to understand what's happening now in the life or something. I do lots of readings that have that are either for people looking for jobs or people having like difficulties with a relationship or wondering if someone likes them. And it's really great to be able to help people with, with tarot and stuff. And it's also it's always very validating for me when people call me back. Or like one time I had this lady hang up on me because she thought I was making stuff up, and then she called me back like a month later, and she's like, "Pleasant, I'm so sorry. Everything you said came true." And I was like,
Oh
"Thank
my gosh.
you." Like, why would I make it up?
Right,
I don't
right,
know you. Like,
right. Now she's eating crow.
yeah,
Well,
she
Pleasant,
was nice.
it's been great having you on. It's really been a pleasure. We're going to do it again. We're going to have a Mount Crushmore episode with you and Iris and Mandy, the three coolest girls in Hollywood, all in one place
Oh
at one
yeah,
time. We're probably going to put Mandy in
that would be
charge
great.
because, yeah, it'll be a little bit like herding cats, getting you all three together and at the same time and everything. But it has to be, as I say, more fun than a barrel of monkeys, probably. Unless they're really, really fun monkeys, maybe I don't know, maybe a big barrel of monkeys. Anyway, so Pleasant,
Glamorous monkeys.
yeah, it's been great having you on the show. We got to do this again sometime. I mean, like you said, we just barely scratched the surface on our adventures together and just all that kind of stuff. So, tell everybody goodbye, and again, it's been great having you.
Bye, you guys. Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Pleasant. Thank you for doing it. Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Mwah.